Hello, this is Wade, and welcome to Waxing with Wade. This is going to be the first episode in a new music series that I'm going to be filming and posting. I'm going to be featuring vinyl records played on an analog stereo system, show you some covers, play some songs, some parts of songs. I'm going to impart knowledge and trivia that I know about these records and tell you why I love them and spotlight a few things you may find interesting. I'm going to try to keep these to about 5-6 minutes each, though this first one may run a couple minutes longer than that since this is my first attempt at doing such a thing. I'm recently retired. I find that I have more time for this type of thing in retirement now that I'm out of the rat race in the working world. I'll show you my stereo that you'll be hearing these things on. This is a vintage Pioneer analog receiver from the 90s. Bose Cube speakers. You can see the one on the right, the one on the left side of the picture. A large subwoofer on the floor here that's probably out of view. And this is a newer turntable. I had an old turntable that I loved, but I love my kids more, and I gave it to my daughter and son-in-law when they were wanting to start playing vinyl records. And then I got me this new Sony turntable, which is adequate and just a plain turntable that plays through an analog stereo system. So let's get on with the episode. Episode 1, album packaging, featuring the Alice Cooper Band. Now, in a minute, I'll explain why I said the Alice Cooper Band and not just Alice Cooper. There's a reason. So a little background on Alice, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail because you can look it up, but Alice Cooper was born Vincent Damon Fernier in Detroit, Michigan in 1948. He has always been a huge television and old Hollywood movies fan. He liked to rub shoulders with Hollywood stars and performers. He was good friends with Vincent Price and Christopher Lee, two of the most famous horror movie actors, which fed right into his horror persona and stage presence and songs. He was also good friends with Milton Berle and even with Groucho Marx in Groucho's later years, right up until his death. They were close friends. Okay, enough about Alice. So the Alice Cooper name refers to this band, all 5 of them, for their first 6 or 7 albums, 1968 to 1974. But Vincent took the name Alice Cooper as his stage name right from the start, and all the album credits have him as Alice Cooper. And this was the case until 1974 when the band disbanded. And prior to his solo coming out with Welcome to My Nightmare, the famous album, he took the name Alice Cooper, had it changed to his legal name. Okay, on with the music and the records. So the first album I'm going to show you is the 3rd Alice Cooper album, and it's called Love It to Death. And first thing of note on the cover, Alice doesn't have any makeup on, though he was wearing makeup at this time, but not the makeup that you're accustomed to seeing, a little bit different. Also, you'll notice that right here on the front, it says, including the hit, I'm 18. Well, notice it's printed on the cover. It's not on the cellophane on a sticker like you would normally see, in anticipation of the song being a hit. This was already a hit because it had been released in 1970, late in the year, as a single. And when this album was recorded in 1971, they put that right there on the record. It had already been a hit, but it had not been on an album. So they recorded this in 71. It was their 3rd album, and it doesn't have a lot of packaging. I'm just going to mention it briefly. You got another great photo of the band on the back. Again, no makeup from Alice. It does open up, however, and you get the look of how Alice wore his makeup back in the late 60s and maybe up until about 1970 or 71. Okay, next record, and this one I'm going to play a little of. This is Killer, the 4th album by Alice Cooper. And you can see it features the close-up view of a python, which became his trademark that he would wear around his neck, a live python, a pet python, on stage for many years, and probably still does. And one thing of note, this record does not open this way. It opens this way, unlike most records. So you got another picture of the band inside, colored red. It was green on the back, by the way, same photo. But the coolest thing about this album packaging is this. You get Alice on the Gallows, and you get a 1972 calendar for the forthcoming year. Oh, love that packaging. Now, this is the kind of record that parents would look at. They might look at the back and go, dead babies? No, son or daughter, you cannot play this album, not in our house. But they did not look closely enough or even listen to the music or the lyrics, because Dead Babies is in fact about parental neglect, and it has a little bit of a macabre feel. You'll see, I'm going to play a little of it, but the lyrics are about parents that have let their child die by neglect. So I'm going to recite the lyrics, because you may not can hear them that well when I play an excerpt from it, but the lyrics to this song start out, "Little Betty ate a pound of aspirin. She found them on a shelf up on the wall. Betty's mommy wasn't there to save her. She wasn't there to hear little Betty call. Dead babies can't take care of themselves. Dead babies can't take things off the shelf." And then the second verse is, "Daddy is an agrophile in Texas. Mommy's on the bar most every night. Little Betty's sleeping in the graveyard, living there in burgundy and white." So enjoy while I play just about a minute of that part. You can hear what the song sounds like, and then I'm going to skip to the end and show you something else interesting on that song. We didn't want you anyway. A little judgmental of the parents, but another thing I find fascinating, if I can find it here, at the end, it ends with like commotion in a courtroom where possibly the parents are on trial for this death of a child. Let's see. And I believe that was the lead into the next song you heard just a second ago. Okay, so that is all for this episode. I talked a lot, and it probably ran 7 or 8 minutes. I haven't checked yet, but stay tuned for episode 2, which is album packaging part 2, featuring the Alice Cooper Band. And in that episode, we will be featuring just one album, which has terrific packaging and very unusual, and a all-time great song on it that we won't play, because I will play something that's a little more obscure off the record for you, and that is School's Out. So hopefully in a week or two, you'll see that posted.